Hi students, welcome to Sunil's tutorial. I'm Sunil Mirwani and today we'll be doing this chapter called as internal reco. We're doing question number 2. We're doing illustration 2 in the books of Easy Go Traders. Journal. Right? Now when you're doing this, first thing you have to make sure is you write your rules down. LAAL. Liability increases, assets decreases, assets increases, liability decreases. Debit, credit. Once you've written this, then you can start with your sum. Now let's see this. They've said that EasyGo Traders, the paid up capital of EasyGo Traders is 1 lakh, consisting of 4,005% cumulative preference shares of 100 each, 60,000 equity shares of 10 each, and preference dividend was in arrears for 60,000. The company suffered huge losses continuously. Therefore, the directors recommended to the shareholders the following scheme of reconstruction to provide a sum sufficient for the following purpose: to write down patents by 1,40,000, plant and machinery by 34,000, and tools and equipment by 4,000. I'm writing down the assets. Writing down assets. That means capital reduction should be on the debit side. So this will be capital reduction account debit, capital reduction account debit to what all are written off: patents, to plant and machinery, to tools and equipment. Right? Patents are to be written down by 1,40,000. Plant and machinery is to be written down by 34,000 and tools and equipment by 4,000. So this is 1,80,000 being assets written off. Next, let's see another sum, guys. They've said that to write the debit balance of profit and loss account of 2,96,000. Debit balance of profit and loss account means the asset balance of profit and loss account. I'm writing down assets. Writing down assets means capital reduction on the debit side. Capital reduction account debit to profit and loss. Capital reduction to profit and loss, the amount is going to be 2,96,000. 2,96,000. 2,96,000 being asset written off. Next, any balance made available by reduction of capital is to be utilized to write off experiment and research expenses. That when we get the balance, we'll see that the scheme duly approved and authorized provided for every 10 5% preference shares, 6 4% cumulative preference shares of 100 each, and 40 equity shares of 2 each are to be issued. Now, the value of each preference share is 100 rupees. Right? Let's see the working note for this. Old preference. We are saying that for every 10 old preference shares, 6 new preference shares and 40 equity shares are to be issued. For every 10 old preference shares, 6 new preference shares and 40 equity shares are to be issued. Now if you see your opening paragraph of the sum says that the company has got 4,000 old preference shares. That means how many new preference shares will it issue? 4,000 into 6? 2,400. 4,000 into 6 divided by 10. And how many equity shares will it issue? 4,000 into 40 divided by 10. How much?
16,000.
Should be 16,000, right? Now, you are exchanging. Debit what comes in. So, your old 5% cumulative preference shares will come in. So, 5% preference share, capital account debit what comes in. 2. You are going to be issuing new preference shares. These are going to be your 4%. So, 4% preference share capital account debit to not debit, to 4% preference share capital, and you are going to be issuing equity shares to equity share capital. Now, my preference share capital is 4,000 shares of 100 each. So 4,000 shares of 100 each is 4 lakhs, right? I'm going to be issuing 2,400 new preference shares of rupees 100 each. So that is going to be 2,40,000. And I'm going to be issuing 16,000 equity shares of rupees 2 each, right? So that is going to be 32,000. The difference is to be written as to capital reduction. The difference is to be written as to capital reduction. 1,28,000. Fine. Being preference shares exchanged. Preference shares exchanged. Right. Next, let's move on ahead. For every rupees 20 of accumulated dividend, 2 equity shares of 2 rupees each are to be issued. Working note. Dividend and you have equity shares. For every 20 of dividend, 2 equity shares are to be issued. Now, right in the beginning of the sum, they've said that 60,000 is in dividend. 60,000 contingent liability is present. So that means I should give equity shares of 6,000. Now you should know this, that contingent liabilities do not form a part of the main balance sheet. Right? Okay. Since contingent liabilities do not form a part of the main balance sheet, they are not to be recorded in the journal. Any liability or asset which is not a part of the main balance sheet will never be recorded in the journal. So although I am exchanging contingent liability, I am exchanging dividend, I will not use the word dividend in the journal. Now they are saying they are to be exchanged for equity shares, right? Now if I am exchanging them for equity shares, shares are going out, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. I cannot use the word dividend, instead of that I will be using the word capital reduction. So this will be capital reduction account, debit to equity share capital. Right? I'll be issuing 6,000 equity shares of rupees, 2 equity shares of rupees 2 each. So I'll be issuing 6,000 shares of 2 rupees each, so that is 12,000. Being dividend paid. Why am I not using the word dividend? Because dividend is a contingent liability. Contingent liabilities, the word is not there in the balance sheet. If the word is not there in the balance sheet, you cannot use it in the journal. Next. For every 10 old equity shares, 2 new equity shares of rupees 2 are to be issued. Old, new. For every 10 old equity shares, 2 new equity shares are to be issued. How many old equity shares I have? They are saying that 60,000 old equity shares I have. If I have 60,000 old equity shares,
12,000.
I'll be issuing 12,000 new equity shares. Right? Debit what comes in? The old equity shares are going to come in equity share capital account debit. I'm going to issue new equity shares, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. To equity share capital. I'm taking in equity shares of 60,000. I'm issuing 12,000 shares of rupees 2 each. That means 24,000. The difference is to be written as to capital reduction. $36,000 being equity shares exchanged. Right? Now, once you've done this, then you have to make a capital reduction account. Let's make a capital reduction account, guys. Capital reduction account, right? Let's look at our journal. Capital reduction on the debit side, the entry will be on the debit side. 2 patents, 1,40,000. 2 plant and machinery, 34,000. 2 tools, 4,000. Right? Capital reduction on the debit side, entry on the debit side, 2 P&L, 2,96,000. Next, capital reduction on the credit side by 5% preference share capital is 1,28,000. Then you have, after this, you have capital reduction on the debit side to equity share capital. Amount is 12,000. Then you have capital reduction on the credit side by equity share capital. That is 36,000. Right? Now they are saying that any difference that is to come in capital reduction account is to be utilized to write off experimental research. Wait, guys, the last journal entry. This is 60,000 shares. These are 60,000 shares of rupees 10 each. So this is going to be 6 lakhs. This is 60,000 shares of rupees 10 each, and these are going to be 12,000 shares of rupees 2 each. So that is 24,000. So in that case, this is going to be 5 lakhs 76,000. Right? This is going to be 5 lakhs 76,000. I'll just make the correction, guys. 5 lakhs 76,000. Right? Right. Let's tally this account, guys.
7,04,000.
The credit side is
7,04,000.
7,04,000. 7,04,000.
2,18,000 difference.
2,18,000.
18,000.
You said that the difference is to be utilized to write off experiment and research. So this will be to experiment and research. Right? This is your balancing figure. You've already left space for one journal entry, so you make the journal entry for that. Remember, here you have to always make sure that you leave space for one journal entry. The experiment and research is on the debit side in the ledger, so it will go on the credit side in the journal. So this will be capital reduction account debit. To experiment and research. Amount is 2,18,000. Being capital reduction account written off. Capital reduction used or written off. Right? So you have to only make journal and capital reduction account. There is no balance sheet here. This finishes this sum. We'll stop this here for the day. Thank you very much.